In the last episode, my companions and I had just emerged victorious from a grueling battle, but the weight of our triumph was tempered by the uncertainty of what lay ahead. The mysterious message from an unknown ally had set our sights on the abandoned Aetherian Outpost hidden deep within the treacherous Undercroft. With renewed hope and determination, we were ready to face the perils that lay within. I stood at the edge of our makeshift camp, gazing out into the darkness. The flickering torches cast eerie shadows on the walls as I pondered the journey ahead. The Undercroft was a labyrinth of tunnels and caverns rumored to be filled with deadly seismic shifts and subterranean creatures. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of footsteps approaching. Lyrien, the brilliant explorer, emerged from the darkness, her eyes shining with excitement. "We've received a tip about a hidden entrance to the outpost," she said. "It's said to be located in a nearby tunnel system." I nodded, my heart racing with anticipation. This could be the break we needed. "Let's gear up and move out," I said, shouldering my pack. As we ventured into the tunnel system, the air grew thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. Kaida, the resourceful scavenger, took point, her senses on high alert for any sign of danger. The tunnels twisted and turned, leading us deeper into the Undercroft. We encountered our first obstacle in the form of a massive seismic shift, the ground trembling beneath our feet. Lyrien's voice was calm and steady. "We need to find shelter now." We scrambled to find a safe place to ride out the quake, our hearts pounding in our chests. When the shaking finally subsided, we emerged to find that the tunnel had changed, new paths revealed and old ones blocked. Kaida's eyes sparkled with excitement. "This is going to be a challenge." I grinned, a sense of camaraderie forming among us. We're in this together. As we pressed on, the darkness seemed to grow thicker, the shadows coalescing into shapes that lurked just out of sight. I could feel the weight of the Undercroft bearing down on us, the ancient secrets hidden within its depths waiting to be uncovered. And then I heard it, a faint whisper carried on the wind. A warning? Or a summons? I spun around, but there was no one in sight. The whisper seemed to come from all around us, echoing off the walls. "What was that?" Kaida asked, her voice barely above a whisper. I shook my head. "I don't know, but I think we're not alone down here." The air seemed to vibrate with tension as we stood there, frozen, waiting for whatever was coming next. And then a figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes fixed on us with an unnerving intensity. Previously, we had just received a cryptic message from a mysterious ally, setting our sights on the long-abandoned Aetherian outpost hidden within the treacherous Undercroft. With renewed hope and determination, we were ready to face the perils that lay within. As we stood at the edge of our makeshift camp, gazing out into the darkness, Lyrien emerged with news of a hidden entrance to the outpost, and we geared up to move out. As the figure emerged from the shadows, its eyes seemed to bore into our very souls. I could feel a shiver run down my spine as I took in its imposing presence. The figure was tall and gaunt, its skin deathly pale, and its eyes burned with an otherworldly energy. "Who are you?" I demanded, trying to keep my voice steady. The figure didn't respond. Instead, it took a step closer, its eyes fixed on Lyrien. I could see a flicker of recognition in its gaze, and for a moment I thought I saw a glimmer of something like sadness. Lyrien, however, seemed to relax, a look of surprise crossing her face. "Archaea?" she whispered. The figure nodded, its eyes never leaving Lyrien's face. "I have been waiting," it said, its voice like a sigh on the wind. I exchanged a wary glance with Kaida. Who was this Archaea, and what did it want with us? Lyrien took a step forward, her eyes locked on Archaea's. "We've come seeking knowledge," she said. "The outpost, the ancient texts. We need to understand what lies within." Archaea's gaze seemed to drift away, its eyes clouding over. "I can help you," it said, "but first you must prove yourselves worthy." I raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Archaea's eyes snapped back into focus, burning with an intense energy. "The Undercroft is treacherous," it said. You will face challenges that will test your courage, your wits, and your resolve. Are you prepared to face what lies within? I felt a surge of determination. We had come this far. We wouldn't turn back now. "We're in," I said, my voice firm. Archaea nodded, a small smile playing on its lips. "Then, let us begin." With that, Archaea turned and disappeared into the shadows, leaving us to follow. We exchanged a glance and then set off into the unknown, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As we walked, the tunnel seemed to shift and change around us, leading us deeper into the Undercroft. We encountered strange creatures, their bodies adapted to the dark, subterranean environment. Kaida took point, using her skills to navigate the treacherous terrain and avoid deadly traps. Lyrien, meanwhile, pored over ancient texts, trying to decipher the secrets of the outpost. I could see the excitement building within her as she uncovered clues that hinted at the incredible knowledge hidden within the outpost. I walked alongside Archaea, trying to understand its motivations. Why was it helping us? What did it hope to gain? As we walked, Archaea began to open up, sharing its story with me. It had once been a member of the Aetherian Outpost, tasked with protecting the knowledge and artifacts within. But as the outpost was abandoned, Archaea had remained, waiting for a new generation to come and unlock the secrets of the Undercroft. "I've been waiting for so long," Archaea said, its voice filled with a deep sadness, "waiting for those who would understand the true power of the outpost." I felt a pang of compassion for Archaea. It had been left behind, forgotten in the depths of the Undercroft. "We're here now," I said, trying to offer some comfort. "Well, uncover the secrets of the outpost, and make sure that your sacrifices are not forgotten." Archaea's eyes seemed to gleam with a newfound hope. "Thank you," it said. "I will help you in any way that I can." As we continued on our journey, I could feel a sense of camaraderie growing among us. We were in this together, and together we would overcome the challenges that lay ahead. The air grew thick with anticipation as we approached the entrance to the outpost. I could feel the weight of history bearing down on us, the secrets of the ancient Aetherians waiting to be unlocked. And then we stepped forward into the unknown. The entrance to the outpost loomed before us, a massive stone door adorned with ancient symbols. Lyrien's eyes sparkled with excitement as she reached out to touch the door. "It's here," she whispered. The outpost. We're finally here. I felt a surge of excitement mixed with a sense of trepidation. What lay within the outpost? What secrets would we uncover? As Lyrien worked to unlock the door, I couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. We had come so far and overcome so much. We were on the cusp of something incredible. The door creaked open, revealing a chamber filled with ancient artifacts and mysterious devices. Lyrien gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's incredible," she breathed. "The knowledge contained within these walls, it's beyond anything I could have imagined." I smiled, feeling a sense of hope. We had done it. We had uncovered the secrets of the outpost. But as we began to explore the chamber, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone, that there was something else here, something waiting for us. And then I heard it. A faint whisper carried on the wind. "A warning or a summons!" I spun around, but there was no one in sight. The whisper seemed to come from all around us, echoing off the walls. What was it? And what did it want from us? I exchanged a wary glance with my companions. We had uncovered the secrets of the outpost, but now we faced a new challenge, one that would test our courage and our resolve. But we were ready. We had come too far to turn back now. We would face whatever lay ahead together and emerge victorious. Previously, we had just stepped into the ancient Aetherian Outpost, uncovering a chamber filled with artifacts and mysterious devices, and were met with a faint whisper that seemed to come from all around us, echoing off the walls. The whisper had left us with more questions than answers, and we were now on high alert, ready to face whatever lay ahead. As we stood there, the weight of the outpost secrets bore down on us, and the whisper's ominous tone sent a shiver down our spines. The whisper seemed to grow louder, more urgent, and I could feel a sense of unease spreading among my companions. Lyrian's eyes were fixed on the artifacts, her mind racing with the implications of our discovery. Kaida's hand was on the grip of her gun, her eyes scanning the room for any sign of danger. Arkea's gaze was fixed on me, its eyes burning with an otherworldly energy. Suddenly, the whisper stopped, and the room was silent. We stood there, frozen, waiting for something to happen. And then the lights flickered, and the room was bathed in an eerie blue glow. The air seemed to vibrate with energy, and I could feel a strange power emanating from the artifacts. Lyrien gasped, her eyes wide with wonder. "It's the Aetherian technology," she whispered. "It's activating." I felt a surge of excitement mixed with a sense of trepidation. What did this mean? What kind of power were we dealing with? As we watched, the artifacts began to glow and the devices hummed to life. The air was filled with an intense, pulsating energy, and I could feel it calling to me. Suddenly, visions began to flash before my eyes. I saw the Aetherians constructing the outpost, harnessing the power of the Undercroft. I saw ancient civilizations thriving and then falling. And I saw a glimpse of a catastrophic event, one that had driven the Aetherians to abandon the outpost. The visions were disorienting, but I felt a sense of awe at the sheer scale of what I was seeing. I was witnessing history unfold before my eyes. As the visions faded, I turned to my companions, my mind reeling with questions. "What did we just see?" I asked. Lyrian's eyes were still shining with excitement. "We saw the history of the Aetherians," she said, "their triumphs and failures, and we saw a glimpse of the catastrophe that drove them to abandon the outpost." I nodded, trying to process what we had just witnessed. But as I turned to Arkeia, I saw a look of concern etched on its face. "What is it?" I asked. Arkeia's eyes seemed to bore into my soul. "The visions are not complete," it said. "There is more to see, and I fear that what we will find next will not be so easy to bear." I felt a shiver run down my spine. What did Arkeia mean? What lay ahead? But before we could press Arkeia for more information, the room began to shake, and the energy emanating from the artifacts surged to a new level. The devices were humming louder, and the blue glow was growing brighter. "What's happening?" Kaida shouted, her voice barely audible over the growing din. I looked around, trying to find an answer. And then I saw it. A massive stone door, hidden behind a nearby console, was sliding open. "The door!" Lyrien shouted. "It's opening!" We rushed towards the door, our hearts pounding with excitement and fear. What lay beyond it? As we stepped through the doorway, I was struck by the sheer scale of what lay before us. A vast chamber, filled with row upon row of ancient servers, stretched out into the distance. I felt a sense of wonder, mixed with a sense of trepidation. We had uncovered a piece of Aetherian history, but what did it mean, and what lay ahead? The chamber was cool and quiet, the only sound the gentle hum of the servers. But as we walked deeper into the room, I could feel a sense of anticipation building. We were on the cusp of something incredible, and then I saw it. A massive console at the far end of the chamber was lighting up. The screens were flashing with data, and the machines were humming with energy. Lyrien gasped, her eyes wide with excitement. "It's the central core," she whispered, "the heart of the outpost." I felt a surge of excitement, mixed with a sense of trepidation. What did this mean? What kind of power were we dealing with? As we approached the console, I could feel a sense of awe at the sheer scale of what lay before us. We were on the threshold of a great discovery, one that could change the course of history. But as we reached out to touch the console, a voice boomed through the chamber, echoing off the walls. "You shouldn't have come here," it said. I spun around, trying to find the source of the voice. And then I saw it. A figure, standing in the shadows, was watching us. "Who are you?" I demanded. The figure stepped forward, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly energy. "I am the guardian of the outpost," it said, "and you are not welcome here." I felt a surge of determination. We had come too far to turn back now. We would face whatever lay ahead together and emerge victorious. But as we stood there facing the Guardian, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were in grave danger. The Guardian's eyes seemed to bore into my soul, and I could feel a sense of malevolence emanating from it. We had uncovered the secrets of the outpost, but now we faced a new challenge, one that would test our courage and our resolve. And as we stood there, ready to face whatever lay ahead, I knew that we would emerge victorious. We had come too far to turn back now. We would unlock the secrets of the outpost and emerge into a brighter era where hope, courage, and redemption would forever reshape our world and our own destinies. Previously, the Guardian's ominous presence had left us standing frozen in anticipation, its words echoing through the vast chamber as it continued to regard us with an unyielding gaze. The air was thick with tension, and I could feel the weight of the outpost's secrets pressing down on us. The Guardian's eyes seemed to bore into my soul, and I knew that our actions would determine the course of our journey. As we stood there, the Guardian's expression remained unreadable, but its eyes seemed to gleam with a hint of curiosity. "You have uncovered the secrets of the outpost," it said, its voice low and measured. "But do you have the knowledge to wield them?" Lyrien stepped forward, her eyes shining with determination. "We mean no disrespect," she said. "We're here to learn, to understand the secrets of the Aetherians." The Guardian regarded her for a moment, then nodded its head. "I will give you a choice," it said. "You may either face the trial of the ancients, or you may leave the outpost forever." I felt a surge of excitement mixed with trepidation. The trial of the ancients? What did that entail? But I knew that we couldn't turn back now. We had to face whatever lay ahead. "We'll take the trial," I said, my voice firm. The Guardian nodded its head. "Very well," it said. "The trial will test your knowledge, your courage, and your wits. Are you prepared to begin?" As the Guardian spoke, the chamber began to shift and change around us. The servers hummed louder, and the air seemed to vibrate with energy. The Guardian led us to a large, circular platform. "The trial will consist of 3 challenges," it said. "Each challenge will test a different aspect of your abilities. You will have to work together, use your skills and knowledge to overcome the obstacles ahead." The platform began to glow, and a holographic display flickered to life above it. The first challenge was revealed, a complex puzzle that required us to use our knowledge of Aetherian technology to unlock a hidden door. Lyrien's eyes lit up as she examined the puzzle. "I think I can crack this," she said. Kaida nodded, her hand on the grip of her gun. "I'll keep watch," she said, "in case anything goes wrong." Archaea and I exchanged a glance. We knew that we had to work together, use our unique skills to overcome the challenge. As we worked on the puzzle, I realized that this was more than just a test of our abilities. It was a test of our trust in each other, our ability to work together under pressure. The puzzle was complex, but Lyrien's expertise and Kaida's quick thinking helped us to unlock the door. As we stepped through it, we found ourselves in a new chamber filled with a maze of laser beams. The second challenge was revealed. We had to navigate the maze without triggering the beams. Archaea's agility and Kaida's quick reflexes helped us to avoid the beams, but it was a tense and nerve-wracking experience. As we emerged from the maze, we found ourselves in a final chamber, face to face with a massive, ancient machine. The Guardian's voice boomed through the chamber. "The final challenge," it said. "You must activate the machine and harness its power." I felt a surge of excitement mixed with fear. This was it. This was the moment of truth. But as we approached the machine, I realized that something was wrong. The machine was malfunctioning, and it was building up to a catastrophic failure. "We have to act fast," I shouted. "We have to stop the machine before it's too late." Lyrien's eyes were wide with fear. "I don't know if we can do this," she said, but I knew that we had to try. We worked together, using our skills and knowledge to override the machine's systems and prevent a disaster. As we succeeded, the machine hummed to a stop and the chamber fell silent. The Guardian's voice boomed through the chamber once more. "Well done," it said. "You have passed the trial of the ancients. You have proven your worth." The chamber began to shift and change around us once more. The Guardian led us to a hidden chamber filled with ancient artifacts and mysterious devices. "This is the heart of the outpost," the Guardian said. "Here, you will find the knowledge and power you seek." As we explored the chamber, I realized that this was just the beginning. We had unlocked the secrets of the outpost, but there was still so much to learn, so much to explore. And as we stood there, surrounded by the ancient artifacts, I knew that our journey was far from over. We had faced a challenge and we had emerged victorious. But there were more challenges ahead, more trials to face. But I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead with my companions by my side. As we stood there, bathed in the glow of the artifacts, I felt a sense of hope and determination. We had come a long way, but we still had so much to achieve. And I knew that together we would overcome any obstacle and emerge victorious in the end. The secrets of the outpost were now ours to wield, and I was eager to see what the future held. But little did I know, a new challenge was looming on the horizon, a challenge that would test our courage and our resolve. The Guardian's eyes seemed to gleam with a hint of warning. "You have passed the trial," it said, "but there are those who would seek to claim the secrets of the outpost for themselves. You must be prepared to face them." I felt a shiver run down my spine. What lay ahead? What new challenges would we face? But I was ready. I was ready to face whatever lay ahead with my companions by my side. And as we stood there, ready to face the future, I knew that we would emerge victorious, our bond and determination guiding us through the trials ahead. Previously, the Guardian's ominous presence had left us standing frozen in anticipation, its words echoing through the vast chamber as it presented us with a choice: face the trial of the ancients or leave the outpost forever. We had chosen to take the trial, and after overcoming 3 challenges, we had emerged victorious, unlocking the secrets of the outpost. But as we stood there, bathed in the glow of the ancient artifacts, the Guardian's eyes seemed to gleam with a hint of warning, foreshadowing a new challenge on the horizon. As we began to explore the hidden chamber, our footsteps echoed off the walls and the air was thick with the scent of aged dust. Lyrien's eyes sparkled with wonder as she examined the ancient devices, her fingers tracing the intricate carvings on the walls. Kaida stood guard, her eyes scanning the shadows, ever vigilant. Archaea and I exchanged a glance, our faces set with determination. But as we delved deeper into the chamber, a sudden jolt shook the ground beneath our feet. The Guardian's voice boomed through the chamber, its tone urgent. "The Shadowhand Clan has breached the outpost's outer defenses. They seek to claim the secrets of the Aetherians for themselves." I felt a surge of adrenaline as I turned to my companions. "We have to act fast," I said. "We can't let them get their hands on this technology." Lyrien nodded, her eyes flashing with determination. "We need to seal off the chamber and prepare to defend ourselves." Kaida drew her gun, her face set in a fierce expression. "I'll take point. We need to buy time to come up with a plan." Archaea nodded, her hand on the grip of her own gun. "I'll cover our 6. Let's move." As we hastened to secure the chamber, the sound of blaster fire and shouting echoed through the corridors outside. The Shadowhand Clan had arrived, and they were determined to claim the outpost's secrets by force. We worked quickly, sealing off the chamber with reinforced doors and activating the outpost's internal defenses. But I knew that it wouldn't be enough. The Shadowhand Clan was ruthless, and they would stop at nothing to achieve their goals. As we caught our breath, Lyrien approached me, her eyes shining with a hint of excitement. "I think I can hack into the outpost systems," she said. "If I can access the mainframe, I might be able to trigger a trap that will delay the Shadowhand Clan." I nodded, a plan forming in my mind. "Do it," I said. "Well prepared to defend ourselves. Kaida, Archaea, let's get into position." As Lyrien worked her magic, the sound of blaster fire grew louder and the chamber began to shake. The Shadowhand Clan had breached the outer defenses and they were closing in. Suddenly, the lights flickered and the air was filled with the acrid smell of smoke. Lyrien grinned, her eyes sparkling with triumph. "I've triggered the trap," she said. "The Shadowhand Clan will have to navigate a maze of laser beams to get to us." But I knew that it wouldn't be enough. The Shadowhand Clan had resources, and they would find a way to overcome the obstacle. We needed to come up with a new plan, and fast. As we prepared to face the Shadowhand Clan, I realized that this was more than just a battle. It was a test of our resolve, our determination to protect the outpost's secrets and ensure that they didn't fall into the wrong hands. I turned to my companions, my eyes locked on theirs. "We're in this together," I said. "We'll face whatever comes next, as a team." And with that, we steeled ourselves for the battle ahead, ready to defend the outpost and its secrets against all comers. The laser beams crisscrossed the corridor outside the chamber, a deadly maze that would slow down the Shadowhand Clan. But I knew that it was only a temporary solution. We needed to come up with a more permanent plan, one that would protect the outpost and its secrets. As we waited, the sound of blaster fire grew fainter and the chamber fell silent. But I knew that it was only a lull in the storm. The Shadowhand Clan would regroup, and they would come back stronger, and when they did, we would be ready. The chamber was quiet, the only sound the hum of the outpost systems. But I could feel the tension building, the sense of anticipation that came with waiting for the inevitable. And then, without warning, the lights flickered, and the air was filled with the sound of blaster fire. The Shadowhand Clan had regrouped, and they were coming for us, but this time we were ready. We stood shoulder to shoulder, our guns at the ready. We had come a long way, and we had overcome so much. But we knew that this was just the beginning. The battle ahead would be fierce, and it would test our resolve, our determination, and our courage. But we were ready. We were ready to face whatever came next, as a team. And we would emerge victorious, no matter what lay ahead. The outcome was far from certain, but one thing was clear: we would fight to protect the outpost, its secrets, and each other. And in that moment, I knew that we would triumph, our bond and determination guiding us through the trials ahead. The darkness closing in around us seemed to recede, and for a moment the future seemed bright. We had hope, and we had each other. And that was all that mattered. But as the battle raged on and the sound of blaster fire echoed through the corridors, I knew that our journey was far from over. The Shadowhand Clan would not give up easily, and we would have to fight to protect what we had gained. The stakes were high, but we were ready. We had come too far to turn back now. And as we fought on, our hearts filled with determination, I knew that we would emerge victorious in the end. The secrets of the outpost would be safe, and we would have found a new purpose, a new reason to keep moving forward. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: we would face it together, as a team, and we would overcome any obstacle that came our way. And in that moment, I knew that we would triumph, our bond and determination guiding us through the trials ahead. Previously, the Shadowhand Clan had launched a fierce assault on the outpost, forcing us to seal off the chamber and prepare to defend ourselves. Lyrien had triggered a trap, unleashing a maze of laser beams that would slow down the enemy, but I knew it was only a temporary solution. As we waited for the Shadowhand Clan to regroup and launch their next attack, I steeled myself for the battle ahead, knowing that our resolve and determination would be tested. As the laser beams shredded the air, a massive explosion rocked the chamber, sending us stumbling backward. The Shadowhand Clan had brought in heavy artillery, and we were caught in the crossfire. I saw Kaida go down, her gun arm twisted at an awkward angle. Archaea rushed to her side, shielding her from the hail of blaster fire. "No, no, no!" I shouted, rushing to their side. "We have to get out of here now!" Lyrien grabbed my arm, her eyes wild with fear. "The mainframe! I can access it! We can shut down the outpost's defenses and—" "No time!" I yelled, hauling Kaida to her feet. "We have to fall back, regroup!" As we stumbled through the corridors, the Shadowhand Clan closed in, their blaster fire scorching the walls mere inches from our backs. I could feel the heat, the fear, the adrenaline coursing through my veins. And then, just when it seemed like all was lost, we stumbled into a hidden alcove, a narrow ventilation shaft leading up to the outpost's upper levels. Without hesitation, I pushed Lyrien and Archaea into the shaft, following close behind. As we climbed, the sounds of battle grew fainter, replaced by the creaking of ancient ductwork and the hum of forgotten machinery. I could feel my heart pounding in my chest, my lungs burning from the exertion. But I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. Not now, not when we'd come so far. Finally, we emerged into a cramped, dimly lit room filled with dusty computer terminals and abandoned equipment. Lyrien collapsed onto a nearby chair, her face pale. We have to shut down the outpost," she gasped. "The Shadowhand Clan will use this technology against us." I nodded, my mind racing. "Archaea, can you hack into the mainframe? Shut down the defenses?" Archaea nodded, her eyes locked on the terminals. "I'm on it." As she worked her magic, I turned to Kaida, who was propping herself up against a nearby console. "How bad is it?" I asked, concern etched on my face. Kaida winced, her eyes narrowing. "Just a graze. It'll be fine." I nodded, relief washing over me. We'd made it out alive, for now. But as I looked around the room, I realized that we weren't safe yet. The Shadowhand Clan would regroup, and they'd come for us again. We needed a new plan, a new way to protect ourselves and the outpost's secrets. And that's when I saw it. A small, intricately carved stone on a nearby console. It was Lyrien's eyes that had landed on it first, and now she was staring at me with an excited expression. "What is it?" I asked, picking up the stone. Lyrien's voice was barely above a whisper. "It's a Aetherian artifact, a key, maybe, to something bigger." I turned the stone over in my hand, feeling a surge of excitement. This could be it. This could be the break we needed. As I looked at my companions, I knew that we were in this together. We'd face whatever came next, as a team. And with that, we steeled ourselves for the challenges ahead, ready to uncover the secrets of the Aetherian artifact and protect the outpost's secrets against all comers. The room fell silent, the only sound, the hum of the equipment. But I could feel the tension building, the sense of anticipation that came with waiting for the next move. And then, without warning, Archaea's eyes lit up. "I've got it," she said, a triumphant smile spreading across her face. "I've shut down the outpost's defenses." The room erupted into a sigh of relief, but I knew that it was only temporary. The Shadowhand Clan would regroup and they'd come back stronger. But for now, we had a moment to breathe, a moment to plan, and as we gathered around the console, poring over the schematics and maps of the outpost, I knew that we were one step closer to victory. The journey was far from over, but I was ready. I was ready to face whatever came next, as a team, and I knew that together we would triumph. The darkness closing in around us seemed to recede, and for a moment the future seemed bright. We had hope, and we had each other, and that was all that mattered. As we pored over the maps, a plan began to form. We would use the Aetherian artifact to unlock a hidden exit, one that would lead us deep into the Undercroft. And from there, we would launch a counterattack against the Shadowhand Clan. The stakes were high, but we were ready. We had come too far to turn back now. And as we set our plan in motion, I knew that we would emerge victorious in the end. The secrets of the outpost would be safe, and we would have found a new purpose, a new reason to keep moving forward. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: we would face it together, as a team, and we would overcome any obstacle that came our way. And in that moment, I knew that we would triumph, our bond and determination guiding us through the trials ahead.